so in this video, we're gonna be traveling to a beach resort in San Remigio in northern Cebu called Beach Resort. And we're gonna stay there for at least one night. And the thing about this beach resort is that it sits spot on in a border class 3 night sky, which means way less light pollution than from where I am from. And that will be like the darkest night sky that I will ever travel to after a very long time. And so my parents and I, including my aunts, are going to go there tomorrow and stay there overnight. However, the weather forecast itself doesn't really look that good because of a nearby storm that's bringing cloudy skies throughout the whole of Cebu, including northern Cebu where we are going to be staying in. So I don't really have my hopes very high up that it'll even be clear skies tomorrow evening. And the chance of me being able to do astrophotography in the beach resort is very slim. And the more likely scenario is that we're going to encounter rainy weather once we get there because of the storm, which is currently a tropical depression as far as I know, but will later intensify into a tropical storm within the next 24 hours. And even though the storm is still quite far from where we are going to be, it's already bringing a lot of rainy weather throughout Cebu. And even here in Lapu-Lapu, it's already cloudy skies for like the entire day and rainy weather in the afternoon or in the evening most of the time. So we're still going to take safety precautions during our trip. And so, same thing as usual, I'm gonna bring my DSLR camera on my tripod during our trip. And even though it's not really likely that I will be able to do astrophotography in the area, I will still do other forms of photography once I find a composition. And another thing, I've never been to that place before in like ever. And especially since we don't go to northern Cebu very often. And the last time we went to northern Cebu was in 2019 when we traveled to Bantayan Island. But that was a very long time ago. And so, I'm gonna have to finish packing up my things now to prepare for the trip tomorrow, which will begin at around 5 AM, but we will wake up as early as 3 AM or 4 AM. And so, baboosh. Okay guys, so we are now currently here in San Remigio and we are in a restaurant for now because we haven't eaten breakfast yet. It's currently raining here right now, but luckily during our journey here, it wasn't actually raining, it was just partly cloudy skies or overcast skies, so we had a safe trip. And Lamir is just somewhere right over there, so we just have to ride a tricycle to reach the beach resort after we finish our breakfast. It's also my first time being in this place, and so it's really a fascinating experience to be in another city and another part of Cebu that I've never been to before. And so, other than that, if you notice my eye bags here, it's because I didn't actually get any sleep last night. I came here without having any sleep at all, or having very little sleep. But I'm not gonna let that hamper my experience for today. So I do apologize in advance if ever I seem a bit lethargic or I don't really seem like myself that much in this video. So we're now at the beach side of Beach Resort and the water here is not really looking that good because of all of the seaweed all over the place. And it was not really what I had expected it to be. And the sky is still quite cloudy too. But it's actually getting too rainy here, so I have to get back. Okay, so we actually had to retreat to the inner part of the beach resort because it was raining earlier, and the fact that the beach side was full of seaweed just made it really unfavorable for us to bathe in. But at least they have a swimming pool here that's really good for us to actually soak ourselves in.
And we haven't actually checked into our room yet because the time for our check-in has not yet arrived. And we came here a bit too early. It's still 11 a.m. and our check-in time is around 2 p.m. or 1 p.m. So there's still a lot of time for us to spare. But still, hopefully all of that seaweed will clear up tomorrow, especially if like the weather improves tomorrow morning. And also, if it's not going to be raining tonight, then I'll be able to do some form of night photography tonight. So for now, I'm gonna have to enjoy my daytime experience here along with our daytime adventure here in San Remigio, and also get some rest in the meantime because I'm definitely quite exhausted now.
1 hour later.
So this is our room, which is not really that spacious, but at least it still looks good though.
Okay, so I did not vlog that much inside the room because I took a nap due to exhaustion from the trip. However, we later traveled around San Remigio to make the most of our stay here, and this was our first time being in this area. The place had a more small town vibe, less urbanization, and a pace of life that whispered tranquility. There was more green everywhere, fewer vehicles were on the road, and it was more peaceful with a mellower pace of life. As a result, I took these photos with my smartphone while exploring the town. I did not bring my DSLR while traveling around the place because I did not have an extra bag, and I did not want to carry my camera around for everyone to see in public. But as you can see, the place was so rural and peaceful and lacked much public transportation around the resort. Despite the weather forecast stating it would be overcast with a high chance of rain, the weather was hot and parts of the sky only had cloud wisps. However, dark clouds began forming in the sky while we were returning to Lammer Beach Resort. I took more photos of the area before we bathed in our swimming pool and the ocean, such as this one of our view of Negros Occidental from the resort. It was my first time capturing this part of the Negros province due to how far north we were in Cebu. I also took this photo showing Bantayan Island behind a small rocky islet in the distance. Seeing Bantayan Island again after many years since 2019 reminded me of every adventure I had there, such as my first time photographing the Milky Way core with my DSLR camera. I photographed many more things, including some tourists, OGTs, and the bar staff at the resort. However, I will not show their faces here. For those who want to know what it was like bathing in the ocean around Lammer Beach Resort, the sea was murky and still had plenty of seaweed, even though the people working at the resort cleaned up the shore. We did not stay in the ocean for long because our faces had a slight burning sensation after dipping our heads underwater only once, and getting surrounded by seaweed felt uncomfortable. As a result, we retreated to their swimming pools, where we spent most of the time bathing in. However, the ocean conditions around the resort will vary over time, and I hope you will experience better sea conditions when you travel here because it is a beautiful place to be in, and it gets even better during sunset.
Okay guys, so I'm actually just in time for the sunset after I finished bathing in the swimming pool, and oh my god, it's really windy here, and I don't really know if you can hear me in the audio, but as you can see, it's actually not really that cloudy anymore. I can even see the moon from here, although it's actually quite hazy. But in the distance are a bunch of storm clouds. Hopefully they won't actually come here after the sunset, so that I can photograph some stars, if ever I have any. I had to return to the interior part of the beach resort because there's already a thunderstorm that's approaching fast here, and there's already lightning too, so yeah, it's gonna be a very rough night.
So yeah, I stopped vlogging for the night because the area became noisier, making it more challenging to vlog. I also took this panorama of the beach side while the thundercloud was still in the sky. This was the darkest night sky I had ever seen in so many years because I live in a massive city, and the clouds appear dimmer to the naked eye due to reduced sky glow. The lights you see near the shore are people walking around the open area during low tide, picking something up from the exposed sand. I also took more photographs of the place at night, but they looked too terrible due to the noise, so I just ended up discarding them. However, capturing this panorama out in the open felt scary due to the distant thunderstorm, where I would get startled by the sudden flashes of lightning, illuminating my surroundings bright as day, accompanied by constant strong gusts of wind. So, I reluctantly returned to the resort's interior after finishing the panorama.
Guys, I finally got enough rest now compared to yesterday, and I am currently alone in the room right now because I just finished eating my breakfast, but my mother and my aunts have not yet finished eating in the restaurant, so I'm currently the only one here. And the thing is that I didn't even take the time to actually wake up in the early morning or wake up late in the evening just to photograph the surroundings that night here in the beach resort, because it was already really cloudy and I already got everything that I needed for night photography around here. And it's not even likely that the weather would even improve, because the weather forecast would just say that it's going to be cloudy, and there is a very little chance that things would improve. Besides, there was a thunderstorm last night, and with very powerful lightning too. And it was also scary being in the beach side of the beach resort alone in the dark, and then all of a sudden lightning would just lighten the surroundings as bright as day, and you're the only one in the area. That would be a terrifying experience. That's why I didn't even go back to the beach side. And I was also really exhausted during that time, so I just took the time to prioritize my health. Also, by the way, I'm recording this with my smartphone, so if there are any weird artifacts in the video, it's because of my smartphone. So our checkout time will be at 12 p.m. and it's still 8:26 a.m. now. And so we still have plenty of spare time to actually bathe in the swimming pools and in the ocean. But it's still low tide, so the swimming pool is an even better option for now. And we also plan to go around San Remigio before we return home, which will be a 4-hour long ride. So we will arrive home at around 4 or 5 p.m. And even though I got sleep deprived yesterday, I still enjoyed my time here in La Mer Beach Resort in San Remigio. And I really do hope that I can actually return to San Remigio or in any other part of northern Cebu sometime in the future, because this place is something that I don't really travel to very frequently. I travel to southern Cebu more often than northern Cebu, so this is quite a new place for me. So in the meantime, I'm gonna have to spend the rest of it bathing in the swimming pool and in the ocean, especially when the tide gets better, if there's more time.
So, these are the photos I took at the beach resort before we checked out of our room. With each click of my camera shutter, I sought to capture the essence of this serene moment, to freeze the beauty of the beachside in time. The beachside was a sanctuary of calm amidst life's hustle and bustle, where time seemed to slow down, allowing me to savor every exquisite detail. The wind was like a playful muse, whispering secrets in my ear, encouraging me to embrace the present moment and seize its boundless potential. As I strolled along the shore, my heart felt light and my spirit became inspired. In this picturesque haven, I felt a profound connection with the beauty of the natural world. For those who want a beach resort to stay in San Remigio, La Mer Beach Resort is an excellent place for an overnight vacation. Hopefully, the ocean conditions you will encounter while traveling here will be better than what we got. But their swimming pools are surely spectacular to bathe in. So, we later traveled to Hagnaya Port to eat lunch before finding our bus ride home. It was a cloudy day when we journeyed home, and I took the chance to photograph the sceneries of northern Cebu using my DSLR while we passed by them. As the bus carried us through the countryside, I was captivated by the rural symphony unfolding before my eyes. I gazed at the rice fields and farms, mountains and hills, each scene a masterpiece painted by nature's hand. In this tranquil landscape, the touch of urbanization was scarce, allowing green to reign supreme. It had been a while since I last saw these rural landscapes, and the views through the bus window were so extraordinary. However, photographing the passing views was a challenge because it was a catch it or miss it scenario, since the bus was moving so quickly. My camera's autofocus would sometimes take too long to focus on the landscape, and the scenery would disappear moments later, blocked by trees, houses, and other obstacles. The vehicle also moved so fast that the smartphone on my lap would drop to the floor and our bag on the floor would fall on its side whenever the bus turned. The route through the mountains we took had plenty of twists, ascending and descending the hills rapidly, and I sometimes would nearly get thrown off my seat to the sides. Yet, each click of the camera shutter was another glimpse of paradise that only a fleeting glance could afford. If you want to see all the photos I took during our trip to San Remigio, please follow me on Instagram in the description below. And so, our journey in San Remigio came to a close, but the memories and experiences we gathered will forever linger in our hearts. We arrived home at around 5 p.m., and every step of this trip was a testament to the beauty of the natural world and the joy of exploration. So, this is now the end of the vlog, guys, and thank you for joining me on this unforgettable journey. And until the next adventure, may your days get filled with wanderlust and wonder. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram to see all the photos from this trip. Until then, happy travels, and stay curious. And stay safe, everyone.
Thank you.